Hey Queens, welcome to Captivation Radio, a podcast designed to help women learn to love their bodies, transform their mindset, and attract the life of their dreams. I'm your host Fallon, the queen of all things captivation. I'm a certified personal trainer and a confidence and mindset coach. I have a passion for helping women go from mediocrity to queen status. Each week, I will discuss how you can use fitness, mindset, and manifestation to overcome feelings of lack, raise your energy, and finally step into your power and claim the life you deserve. Hey Queens, welcome back to Captivation Radio. So, fortunately, there was no apocalypse like these crazy people said there was going to be. So I'm back with you. Today I want to talk to you about playing small. Do you show up fully and unapologetically? Or do you shrink to fit in spaces? Most of us play small at some point. It's not always comfortable to fully show up, so we dim our lights. Other times we are so conditioned to play small that we don't even realize we're doing it. Today I'm going to talk to you about how you can realize when you're playing small and the steps to take to begin to overcome it. So how do you know if you're playing small? Sometimes it's really not all that obvious. Other times we know that we're doing it, and we do so to preserve our comfort or because we're scared to step out of our comfort zone. Today I'm going to do a little character study on what playing small looks like and some easy steps to take to start stepping into your power. First, I'd like to introduce people-pleasing Katie. Do you put everyone before yourself? We all have been at one point or know a people pleaser. Today, let's call her Katie. Katie does everything for everyone before they even ask. She's a room mom at school with the perfect Pinterest snacks. Everything at home is perfectly organized for everyone before she goes to sleep at night. She goes to bed tired and claims that this life is all she needs to survive. She has never stopped to think about what it is that she truly enjoys or wants from life. People-pleasing may seem like a great way to make people like you. However, when you spend your life never doing what you want, eventually you become incredibly unhappy and pretty unlikable. Additionally, many people will take advantage of your kindness. Okay, people-pleasing could really be made into like an entire series of episodes, probably like a whole season. So we're not going to dig into it super deep today. But if you personally need to dive deeper into this issue, reach out and we can talk about it. What I will tell you today is that the root of the problem often is not wanting to suffer from disapproval. Avoiding these issues and hiding your true feelings is a good way to make sure that nobody disapproves of how you actually feel or what you actually want to do. But it doesn't help you grow. Nor does it help the people around you. Relationships really should be a balance. And when one person does too much, it creates a situation in which the other person really doesn't do anything, and we end up resentful, whether we want to admit it or not. And sometimes it doesn't show up right away, but you start getting mad about small little things, And the reason is because you are pulling more weight than the other person, and you're secretly unhappy with that. And it also stagnates the growth of the person you're doing the things for. So while you're helping them in the moment, you're really creating a long-term problem. And it also creates a situation in which we are hiding our value while we do things for others. You are not made to just do what other people want you to do. You have a purpose in life that is separate from anyone else, from your partner, from your parents, from your children, from your boss, from everybody. If you relate to people pleasing, Katie, I want you to take a look at everything you're doing and see if there are things that you can outsource. If you are in a relationship and you have children and you're doing everything, it's time to ask your partner to do an extra chore or pick the kids up from school sometimes. Start making things more balanced. And when people ask you to do things, before saying yes, ask yourself what you're going to have to say no to for yourself in order to say yes to someone else. And there's only so much time in a day. So everything we agree to do is taking time away from something else. So you really have to prioritize. And you have to start putting yourself first. Now, I don't expect you to be able to do that overnight. It's a learned behavior and it takes time to unlearn too. So the best thing to do is to practice with small choices first and work through your anxiety about making the decisions that serve you best. And then I want you to start learning about what you like. Find one new thing every week or every other week to try, like a hobby. Like go to a painting class, learn pottery, take up an instrument, learn a new language. There's all kinds of things you can do to learn more about yourself. And if you need more guidance on finding your purpose, you can refer back to episode 18 that I did. That goes more into depth about finding your purpose. All right, next we have downplaying Jessica. Downplaying Jessica is overqualified but unsure of herself. When she accomplishes things, she says things like, it's just whatever. It seems like I did well, but ... No matter how amazing her work is, she downplays it or undervalues it. She sits back and waits to be asked to do things. She will never speak up and say, hey, I am the woman for this job. I am the coach you need. I am whatever it is. She'll wait for people to see her worth and ask her to do it. So she ends up being overlooked for positions and projects that are perfect for her. And again, ends up being resentful. If you find yourself downplaying your accomplishments, I want you to ask yourself why. Because this comes from some kind of fear. Are you afraid of outgrowing or outshining the people around you? Are you afraid of setting the bar too high and then failing later on? Because a lot of times it comes down to us thinking this success that we had was a one-time thing. Like, well, I did really good this time, but I don't know if I can repeat it. Or, yeah, she says I did a good job, but she's kind of my friend, so she could be lying. It's a lot of doubting your abilities and having fear of failing. Before you can stop playing small in this category, you need to figure out what you fear will happen if you step fully into your power. And a good exercise is just to imagine the life that you really want to have. If you were working to the best of your ability in whatever it is that you want to succeed at, what would that look like? Like if you want to be a speaker, imagine speaking on a stage in front of thousands of people. How does that make you feel? Where does the fear come up? And then you can figure out from there what issues you need to address. Because it all is around fear and lack of confidence, which can be overcome as soon as you figure out what it is. Our next character is all over the place Amber. Amber is good at so many things. Maybe too many things. Come to think of it, does anyone know what she really does? She hasn't found her voice yet. So her content sounds like a mix of everyone she looks up to. And this has led to her not really connecting with anyone. If you relate to Amber, it's time to get clear on what you want and what your authentic voice is. A lot of times, listening to too many people will have you unsure of who you are. You end up simply regurgitating information you have heard other places, whether it really resonates with you or not. If this is happening to you, I highly suggest you disconnect for a while. I know everyone says we should always be growing, like you need more personal development. But if you never take the time to let the information sink in, you don't really learn from it. Learning requires more than just listening and reading. It requires some kind of action. After you read a book, listen to a podcast, or take a course, take some time to journal about what you took from it. And remember, you do not need to follow anyone's teaching to the letter, not even mine. You should always take what resonates with you and leave the rest behind. And then eventually you can see like, well, I really like this and I don't like this. Because there's not one person that I agree with everything that they say or everything that they teach. There's bits and pieces from everybody that I follow that I resonate with. And that's the stuff that I keep for myself. And the rest of it, I let it go. In addition to finding your authentic voice, it's important that you make what you do clear to people. If no one knows what you do, then how will they ever learn to look at you as an authority in your field? Many women hide from rejection by just never putting themselves out there. It's much easier to look and say, oh, I have a problem with my messaging. I have a problem with my content. Than it is to say, I have made it clear what I do. I have put myself out there and no one wants to work with me. However, you absolutely have to overcome this fear if you want to succeed. And you can succeed if you put the work in. This I am sure of. Next, we have Work for Free Jasmine. Jasmine loves to help people. Her purpose is to empower people and to help them grow. She doesn't like to charge for it because she thinks she was given gifts to help people and not to profit. But at the end of the day, she's exhausted and she's running out of energy to give. How many of you have fallen into the trap of helping without charging? I'm going to tell you right now, I am one of those people. I have done it many, many times before, and it took years of doing things for free for me to realize I have to charge. And you have to stop giving away your time and energy for free all the time. what I want you to understand that in all things, there must be an equal exchange of energy. Your work and time deserve to be compensated and must be compensated if you don't want to deplete all of your energy. You can only give so much before you will eventually burn out. Plus, you still have to eat. You cannot survive off of good feelings. I know this is really hard for a lot of us that just truly want to help people. However, I want you to remember you can help even more people when you have some money. Asking for compensation for your services doesn't make you greedy. Even the fact that you're worried about looking like you're greedy for asking for payment for your services shows that you do not have that characteristic in you. So I want you to practice when people ask you questions. I mean, of course, you can give some advice for free. I don't want you to turn into like a crazy woman. Like, no, I can't give you any answers for free. But if somebody wants a lot of help with something, it's okay to say, I would love to help you, but I have to charge you. And most people will understand that and be willing to pay you. And if they're not, then they can take the time to find the information the same way you had to learn the information. It is not your job to help everyone. Not everyone is made for you to help. Some people have to learn it on their own. So I want to know if you relate to any of these women, because I know I have been all of them at one point or another, and sometimes I'm a combination of all of them. And while I've mostly broken the patterns, there's still some times that I fall into them, and I have to check myself. Have I said before, many times, women have been conditioned to fit in and not make waves. But we are not those women. We are a new generation, and we are powerful beyond measure, whether you realize it yet or not. So I want you to reach out and let me know which person you relate to most. And as always, I would greatly appreciate if you would like, subscribe, share. If you're on Apple Podcasts, if you can leave a review, that would be great. That helps me reach even more women. And I love you all so much. I hope you're having a fantastic week. Bye.